Alright everyone, it's time for a slightly different video talking about the great Satan at large and Lou Perfidio actually. A little bit of a historical lesson on communication censorship here actually for people. You should go to the links in the description of this and also pin them for the YouTube audience. You should be following me on BitChute because it's quickly becoming the alternative platform for video content. I'm marching in on 91,000 subscribers there. That's significant. The engagement totals are similar, by the way, as a ratio to YouTube. I'm keeping that in mind as I plan my expansion going forward. But these two episodes here are The Great Satan at Large, and what it was on Tucson public access cable back in the early 90s. This dude named Lou Perfidio, who apparently is dead, like he was a massive drunk and died of MRSA, according to a blog post, and was actually like a really shitty, greasy guy, but he was at least talented. He dressed up as Satan and did all sorts of weird shit, like, and you know, disclaimer and spoiler alert here, there's a lot of depraved material. There's a lot of hardcore sex scenes playing behind them. There's an enormous amount of swearing, like, makes me sound like a saint by comparison. Blasphemy, obviously, and altogether is just, you know, insane. The whole point was to lampoon censorship. And Lou Perfidio, it's funny because he was a literal punk and a liberal, well, leftist, like probably would be a Sanders supporter today, but at times he sounds like a libertarian because he's promoting guns and talking about fuck the government, fuck the law, and so forth. Sounds a little bit like he's running against Joe Jorgensen or something, actually. Keeping that in mind, though, the skits that he's playing here essentially are deeply symbolic. Especially the part with the jester, where the jester's trying to get his paycheck and stuff like that. You should check them out. Just think of these in the frame of censorship by corporations, especially of communication, cable access, and governments. If you frame it that way, then it goes from being just like a deliberately edgy 90s skit to being something considerably more substantive. I think everyone should watch stuff like this. And again, I've also popped it on Library. If you prefer that platform, you'll be able to search The Great Satan at Large and find it there. It's also, I think Brighteon allowed me to upload it, even though it's deeply blasphemous and does, again, contain 18+ only material. So if you're under 18, don't take the links, because it's problematic. Actually, if you're under 21, don't take them, because they're drunk the whole time, too. Like, literally, they're chain-smoking, getting drunk. I half expected them to break out a crack pipe, honestly, when I first saw it. I laughed so hard. And it wasn't because I was high at the time either. I mean, it's just genuinely, organically very funny as well. Because the whole idea was they were trying to have fun, but have sort of a message here. And with the Israel 666 one, the first 15 or so minutes is him being interviewed. And then the Israel dude talking, who apparently was another, like, shocking figure that was on there that they threatened to kick off. And there's a whole sort of backstory. You should watch that short interview as well. There's a whole backstory about the events as well. Apparently, Perfidio got brought up on charges and pretty much had to flee the state and go back to, I believe, Pennsylvania he was from originally, and then crashed briefly later on with another punk buddy and fucked his girlfriend behind his back and had to get evicted at the point of a shotgun, according to a blog post by another dude claiming to know him. There's actually a picture of him passed out next to the house. That's pretty funny. And he's like talking about how when he was in his 20s, he had the body of like a 45-year-old because he abused himself with alcohol and drugs so much. So don't do drugs, kids. You'll end up like this dude. That's about all. Peace out.